Well, we're live for the first time in, well, it's been quite a while. Gonna let everyone get in here. And we're just waiting for the United States versus Slovakia Group A stage here. Just a bunch of commercials going on right now. I know the Finnish Czechia game is not done. Czechia, of course, being up 1-0 late in the third period. That is huge complications for Team Canada, Finland, and Czechia. If they do just finish 1-2-3, it's going to go head to head. And if it's one game each, it's going to change things. So, like I said, just commercials here, getting ready to start the U.S. pregame versus Slovakia. Yeah, let's try it. Start that pool there. And we're just waiting for the U.S. game to start here. We are actually watching a bunch of commercials as TSN is not on time here. So we'll see what's going on here. I do have a poll started, Slovakia and US. Who are you cheering for? And another commercial. That's great. A bunch of commercials here. Welcome in, everyone. We're just waiting for these commercials to end for the game to start. Let me know who you're cheering for in the pool there. We got USA and Slovakia. Group A stage here for the World Juniors. And we're still on commercials here on the TV for the game. So it should be starting here, amen, as we hit 4 o'clock Mountain Time, 6 o'clock Eastern. And it is starting with the intro here for the World Juniors, celebrating 50 years this year of young talent that we've seen plenty of these players in the NHL. And here we go. Just the intros here. Let me know where you guys are from and all that fun stuff. Showing Slovakia or US here versus Germany. Their match there, I think that was a 6-3 win for the US, 6-2, 6-4, something like that. The Oilers do have a prospect playing for the United States here at these World Juniors. And then just showing Slovakia here as well. Welcome in, everyone. We're just getting started here. Still, as I haven't started, it's just the pregame stuff here. We're watching Oilers prospect Asher Barnett here at the World Juniors for Team USA. As they're still just doing the intro here on the screen. Let me know who you guys are cheering for. We got Slovakia, USA Group A stage here in Minnesota. Of course, it's just continuous intros here, so nothing too special. So I didn't know that. There's 7 US players or 7 USA players are from Minnesota that's on this World Junior team. And Thomas Sharanenko with a hat trick, the only one in the World Juniors here, as we got them just talking, waiting for this game to start here. Sweden winning 8-1 earlier versus Germany. Czechia is in the third period here against Finland. Of course, huge complications when it comes to the top 3 teams of Finland, Czechia, and the Canadians. Then we got coming up the United States and Slovakia, then Canada versus Denmark later tonight. That will be at 8 o'clock and Eastern time. We do have Cole Hudson will join the team, but he was released early from hospital, is what they're saying. So Cole Hudson is listed day to day right now after what happened the other day there. And of course, they're just talking. So let me know in the comments who you're rooting for. We got the pool up for there. And we're just waiting for this game to start. Of course, all this pregame rambling from TSN. And they're talking about James Higgins here for the US. Just talking about how skilled their James Higgins is, and I agree with them. This kid is a pretty good player. He's going to be in the NHL eventually, and hopefully he can shine there in the NHL as well. And we're just doing the intro stuff, so. Hey, Slovakia does have that win, so that's good there. 1-0-1. That's hard to say because I watch a lot of NHL, so it's 1-0-1. But as long as Slovakia can come in top 4, get to the quarterfinals, and not go to that elimination game, that'd be huge for them. I just kind of like how a lot of these teams that were like Slovakia, Latvia, Czechia for the longest time, they weren't competitive. It was the same 3, 4 teams, if you want to throw Russia in there too. And it was just that. I like how these teams are now coming out and being competitive. We saw Latvia and Canada. That game used to be a runaway for Canada. We got to keep the game close for as long as possible. Yeah, for sure. It's all about being motivated and playing hard, and I think Slovakia could do that. They're still just talking about all these players. Chase Reed of the USA. I wish the game just started at the time it said it started. None of this blabbing. That would be greatly appreciated. I don't really care about all this blabbing. It's just better if the play the game here. They're talking about Thomas Kurenko. He's been a solid player for Slovakia. That's true. Nothing does start on time. Michael Prado does lead the tournament in save percentage with a 971. So if they could get a good start from him, they have a good chance. I know US is a powerhouse, but they can keep kind of the goal differential low in tiebreakers and stuff. That's a huge stat. as they are going to commercial break here now. Of course, let's blab for a bit, go to commercial break. Then the hockey game will start. Never starts on time. I just wish it did. And then, sorry about my camera. It's coming off my computer, so as it gets darker, it likes to show this blue light there too. Czechs just choked it, really. I know it was 1-0 with 8 minutes left when I was showing it. Let's turn one of these other screens on and put the Czechia game while we wait for the US Slovakia game here. And there we go. Now it's showing a 50-50 commercial. So let's see what's going on here in the Czechia game while we wait for the States versus Slovakia. Just waiting for that game to stop being commercials as well. So all these commercials while we just want to watch some hockey here. And then here we go. So United States versus Slovakia, trying to win. States are trying to win their third gold medal. So with this, let's go to this Czechia Finland game for a minute. As a Canadian, this is huge, them going to overtime. Because Canada's win in overtime only gave them 2 points. These two teams were Canada's biggest 1, 2, 3 on how the standings would finish. So with this game going to overtime, that is pretty huge for Canada, meaning the winner will be tied with Canada. And if it's the Czechia team, because Canada beat Czechia, they would have the top spot. So this is huge complications in Group B for Czechia and Finland and also the Canadians. I've always liked Slav. It just took him a bit to actually get going with the Canadians, but he's turning out to be a very decent player. And the US Slovakia game is starting here. As we're off and Slovakia wins the draw. As you guys know, I can't show the game because of copyrights. TSN doesn't like that. But I'll try doing my best play-by-play here like Dolany TV does. If you want to see an excellent play-by-play guy, he's the one to go look at. As here's a shot by US. One-timer just misses the net. They have it at the corner boards down behind the net. It's Hagens. He's going, sends out front, misses everyone to the blue line. Here's Chase Reed. Chase Reed will send it to the half boards. Here's Hagens again. Hagens to the center, shoots, misses the net. Slovakia will just hammer it, kept in by Reed. And here's the US, sends it in front and misses, and that will go all the way back to their net. A pass that just missed everyone there for the US. As USA will start, and they'll dump it in, and Slovakia will take the puck out of the zone, and a heavy hit there by the United States. Like I said, sorry, I just got off a 10-hour shift, so this is going to be a little difficult for me, as Slovakia has it behind their net, getting pressured by Team USA, as Yzerman mishandles the puck. Here comes Slovakia through the neutral zone, across the blue line, and that is offside. And it is. And Czechia, Finland are currently 1-1, 24 shots on goal each, and they are in overtime with the O zone in the Finnish zone there. So I am kind of watching that game too, because this is a huge game for the Canadians to be watching. But here's U.S. They'll win the face-off, send it down into the Slovakian zone. Icing's waved off as U.S. gets their first, and Slovakia has the puck exiting zone, kept in by U.S., and the bouncing puck goes out and down the ice, and that will be icing for Slovakia. This is kind of hard. I don't know how people do this for a living. And then U.S. wins face-off in the offensive zone. Shot, tip, saved by Pregame there for Slovakia. Slovakia dumps it off the boards and flips it out to neutral zone as the U.S. will pick the puck up. Here comes U.S. past the blue line to the dot, into the middle, shot fanned on by the United States. And here comes Slovakia and gives the puck up. U.S. will send the puck in, and Slovakia will pick it up. And Slovakia did get away with a penalty there as there was too many men, as there's a wrist shot by U.S. and it just misses the net. U.S. has it on the left-hand boards down behind the net, and they'll fight over it here as my kids are at the door ringing the doorbell. And then here's the United States behind the net, comes around front, one-timer, blocked by Slovakia. Another shot, and saved by Pregame, and Slovakia dumps the puck to center ice. U.S. will contain and get back into the zone, and that's offside. I'll be right back. I gotta go let my kids in. Oh. All right, I'm back here. So the puck's in the Slovakian zone. U.S. pinches along the boards. Back to the point and bounces across to the other D partner. Put behind the net. They have it on the right-hand boards. Back to the point. Cross the blue line, shot, misses the net. Sorry. Yeah, my kids were ringing the doorbell. And Czechia scores. Czechia has beat the Finnish in overtime. Sorry, I was watching that while it was happening. Well, here's Slovakia in the U.S. zone. They have it on the right-hand boards. Pushes it behind the net again, and U.S. will pick the puck up. Geez, I don't know how people do this, but there's icing against the United States. I'm just watching the Finnish. Ooh, they hit the crossbar in overtime. And then the Czechia team came down the ice and scored. So a 2-1 win in overtime for Czechia there as that game just finished. As there's a face-off in the U.S. game to the right of the U.S. goalie, shot and blocked by a U.S. defender. Here's Slovakia behind the net, sends it out to the blue line. Cross the blue line, DDD pass, shot, and saved by the U.S. netminder. That was a pretty nice goal by Czechia there. It was a between-the-legs shot in front of the net. It was Juracek as Czechia wins that game. I do like Finnish goaltender's pads. He has some nice pads. Yeah, they do look legit. They've been legit for a couple years now. It's great to see. As a face-off to the right of the U.S. goaltender, U.S. wins the face-off and sends it around the boards, but Slovakia keeps it in, pushes it behind the net. Here's the United States. As they cross neutral zone, send it in, and icing's waved off as Slovakia gets the puck behind their net. They'll send it around the left-hand boards, and flip it out, and US will get the puck here. As Slovakia picks it off in the neutral zone, here's Slovakia. They'll send it down behind the US net, and that will be picked off and by Slovakia after US picked it off. Here's Slovakia shot, misses the net at the point, puts it behind the net and misses everyone. And here comes the US, and they'll send it down the ice for an icing. Showing the highlights of all the turnovers. Misiak with a nice move around Moody and just couldn't get the shot on net. Slovakia wins the draw. They're on their left-hand boards. They're all tied up there. US grabs the puck and they'll exit the zone as they'll dump it in and go for a change. And Slovakia will pick up the puck behind the net. Slovakia on the right-hand boards, gives it up. Here comes the United States, enters Slovakia's end. They're on the right-hand boards, and Slovakia, good pinching by the defense there, but US still has it. And the puck's at the blue line for the United States. Shot from the point, misses, and Slovakia will try to clear it out, but held in by, I don't know how people do this. And Slovakia will send it down the ice, and that is icing. It was close. I wasn't sure. I wasn't going to call it early because it was dying there. Sorry if you hear the kids. They're downstairs and their friends are over. So there's a face off to the left of Pradel. And Slovakia wins the draw, and they'll dump it out, and that is offside by the USA as they'll tag up, and here's Slovakia behind their net. I wasn't sure if it was offside or not there. So here's Slovakia behind the net. They'll pass the puck up through the neutral zone, and that will be out of play as it was tipped over the boards by Slovakia there. They got some bangers at these World Juniors, like for music-wise. So that face-off will be outside Slovakia's end. So Slovakia, 1 win and 1 tie at the World Juniors right now as we go to commercial break. Finland loses to Czechia. So this is how it stands as of right now for Group B. Finland is in first with 2 wins and an overtime loss for 7 points. Canada, who plays Denmark later tonight, is 1 win and 1 overtime win. Czechia has 1 win, 1 overtime win, and 1 loss. Latvia is 0-0-1-1, and Denmark is 0-0-0-2. So right now, Canada and Czechia are tied with 5 points, but Canada does have the tiebreaker over Czechia with the win as they play Denmark tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Mountain, and you guys can do the math for where you are. Very nice goal by Juracek to send or win the game for the Czechia there. So as we're welcomed back. So going for 3 in a row, United States back-to-back gold medalists. Canada did a 3-peat or a 5-peat twice, and the USSR did once for a 3-peat. So here's a face-off at the neutral zone, and Slovakia wins it, and US has it in the Slovakian end after a missed pass by the defender. Here's US on the left-hand boards to the point, shot, and that missed by Henry. Here's Slovakia. Can't get it out of their own end here. US with good sticks so far. Slovakia will dump it down in the US end. And Murin will be there first for Slovakia. Here's Slovakia around the net. Shot. and that is blocked by the defender of the U.S. Sent down behind the net. Here's the United States. Can't get out. Shot from the point by Slovakia. In and out of the glove of the U.S. netminders. Slovakia getting some offensive zone time here for them, as U.S. will take it out through the neutral zone. Try and go through 4 players. Ellerslie couldn't quite do it. That would have been a nice goal if he could get through. And here comes the Slovakian defenders cross ice in front of their own net as they'll break out through the neutral zone, enter the U.S. zone. Shot and missed by Slovakia. And here comes a 3-on-2, and the United States player fell, or that was going to be a 3-on-2 there for United States, as Slovakia will send it around the boards, kept in by the U.S., and Slovakia will get it out. As here's U.S. in their own end doing a breakout through the neutral zone to the right-hand boards and dumped in by the United States. Slovakia will swing it around the other side. Kept in. Here's U.S. shot. Saved. Or blocked, sorry. That was blocked, as Slovakia is having troubles getting out of their own end here. As they have it behind their own net, they'll try the other side, and they'll finally get it out to the neutral zone. Cross ice pass. Here comes Slovakia. Shot blocked again by the U.S. U.S. is blocking a lot of Slovakia's shots right now. As here's Slovakia in their own end, they'll go through the neutral zone, try to dump it in, and fanned on it. As here comes the United States, dumps it in, and they can't get there, and Slovakia has control through the neutral zone. Here comes Toby, shot, and that was off a stick of another defender by the U.S. So a lot of shot blocks for the U.S. to start this game. Slovakia can't get a shot through. Here's Slovakia, enters the zone. Shot, scores! Slovakia has scored. 1-0 Slovakia over the United States. Holy cow. And that was Mooney with a giveaway. And that was a great shot there. That was a weak pass by Mooney and couldn't get it out. Nice shot there. And it is 1-0 Slovakia over the States here in the first period. Got a shot through. Like I said, U.S. was blocking a lot of shots, but they got a couple shots through, 3 shots so far this game, and Slovakia takes the 1-0 lead. And here we go at center ice, and Slovakia wins the face-off as they'll dump it in and chase. U.S. will send it around the other boards and try and get it out here. I do have to say Mooney is having a tough game right now, even though it just started. A couple bad turnovers got out deep, and 1 turnover led to a goal. As here comes Slovakia through the neutral zone, they'll dump it in as they're behind the U.S. net, pinned against the boards, and U.S. brings it out here. They'll come through the neutral zone and dump it in. Slovakia tries to get there first, but U.S. behind the net, sends it out front, and bouncing puck everywhere, but the U.S. could not get a shot on net. As Slovakia has it behind the net, getting chased by 2 players. Need some help there, as Slovakia is getting pressured a bit by the U.S. in their own end. They finally get it out into center ice, and there is going to be a penalty for holding versus the United States here. Slovakia going to the power play up 1-0 here. This is huge. Sorry, it is getting darker out. That's why my screen keeps getting a bit darker. Turn this up here. So Slovakia going to the power play here. Up 1-0. This, Rusky, I don't think you've expected this type of game by Slovakia so far. But Slovakia has a chance to go up 2-0 here. Face-off is to the left of the U.S. netminder. Slovakia wins the draw shot, just missed. Here's Slovakia along the half boards. Back up to the point, and a return pass. Tries to find a pass cross seam, and that goes off of a defender's leg down the ice. As Slovakia has it behind their own net, they'll start the breakout here on the power play, leading 1-0. They'll enter the neutral zone, try to pass it in, and it is dumped out by the United States. And Padel will play it to his defender behind his own net. As here comes Slovakia. A minute 25 left on this power play. They haven't really got anything going here. As here comes Slovakia, and it is poked at the blue line. And here's a race for the loose puck. U.S. has the puck shorthanded in the Slovakian end, and that is 1-on-3. And that was a good penalty killing by the United States there. Minute left. Here comes Slovakia through the neutral zone. And it's at the point there. And finally, Slovakia kind of gets settled in. They finally got into the zone against the U.S. Here's a shot from Slovakia. Scores! Slovakia scores on the power play. It is 2-0 over the United States. Rusky, I have no idea what's going on, man. No one predicted a 2-0 lead for Slovakia here against the United States. Wow, this is insane here. That is a perfect shot by Slovakia there. That was 2-0 Slovakia in the first period versus the United States. That was a fantastic shot by Chemenko there. As U.S. will send it in. We were watching a replay when the faceoff happened. But U.S. has it in the Slovakia zone, down 2-0. Slovakia out shooting the U.S. 4-2 here, leading 2-0. As the puck's in the neutral zone and Slovakia is dumping in. Here's the U.S. pressured by Slovakia. And they're behind their net here, resetting. D-to-D pass. And U.S. is trying to break out, but Slovakia is doing pretty good. Slovakia picks the puck up in the neutral zone. Here comes Slovakia. Shot saved by the U.S. goaltender, and that is sent down the ice. And it's a breakaway for the U.S. U.S. comes in, shoots, and misses the net on a breakaway against Slovakia. U.S. has retained of the puck in the offensive zone. Shot from the point and off the stick behind the net. Here's the U.S. back up to the point. Shot again, blocked by Slovakia, and Slovakia will pick up the puck and bring it into the neutral zone, and they'll dump it in and go for a change here. Slovakia up 2-0. Here comes the United States through the neutral zone. They'll chip it in. That's onside. Back up to the point, shot, and misses the net by the United States. They have it along the half boards. They try sending it to the point, but Slovakia will chip it out, and the U.S. will retreat to get the puck. Here they come through the neutral zone, across the blue line. Shot and misses by the United States. And here comes Slovakia the other way. And they lost the puck at the blue line. And here we go. Things are very opening up in this game. Slovakia has it behind their own net. And that is offside. Sorry, I was just looking at my phone there. Offside on Slovakia. Slovakia up 2-0 here on the United States. This is huge for... Yeah, we won't talk about that Russia stuff here, as that can get people on edge there. So let's just keep it to hockey here as we're gone to commercial break. Like I said, Slovakia up 2-0 with 6 minutes left here in the first period. Czechia just winning in overtime versus the Finnish off of a beautiful in between the leg shot by IIHF to send the Finns a loss there in Group B. This is Group A action between the States and Slovakia, and Slovakia has made an impact here in the first period. This TV timeout is what the United States needed here, as they are just showing the World Cup, of course, in Canada, US, and Mexico this year. I'm actually trying to get tickets to go to that. That'd be cool to go see for the first time ever. As the shots are 7-2 for Slovakia too. As a move by the United States on the breakaway, and he just misses the net completely. Yeah, just missed the net completely. Yeah, they are crazy expensive, but I'm trying. As here's a face-off outside the U.S. zone, Slovakia wins it, and they'll dump the puck in behind the U.S. netminder there, and U.S. will take the puck, being pressured by Slovakia. They'll come out on the right-hand side, break out through the neutral zone, and get stopped there by Slovakia, and Slovakia will dump it back in. And Slovakia pinboards it against the boards there, and U.S. will bring it out to the neutral zone as the U.S. is pressured, and Slovakia will send it back into the U.S. zone. Here's the U.S. stretch pass, and that is missed, and Slovakia's will pick it up in the neutral zone, and U.S. will retain the puck here. Slovakia will send it on net and missed. I thought the goalie caught that. He just completely missed that. So here comes the United States as Reed almost coughs it up there. And here's the Slovaks behind their net. They'll exit the left side of their netminder, stretch pass. No, it's tipped, and United States will pick it up in their own end. Here they come through the neutral zone, checked before they can make the pass. And here comes Slovakia across the blue line. Slovakia, he'll take it back to the point, shot, and saved by the U.S. netminder there. As Slovakia is up 2-0 on the States after a shocking start for Slovakia. As we go to commercial break here. Don't know what they're talking about with that, but I'll see that after. 8 of you in here, thank you for tuning in. As I'm probably only going to do the first period, as it's getting kind of dark out, and that's why my camera is acting all this way. With only 3 draftees, we are looking good. Yeah, Slovakia is looking very good in this game, as they're up 2-0 here, and I think they have USA shocked at this point. Mooney has not been playing as good as they want him to. As we come back from commercial break here. Slovakia has dictated play for pretty much the last 10 minutes of this, as US will win the draw on their own end. They'll chip it out and dump and chase, and that will US will get there and not force an icing, as they are pinned behind the Slovakian net. Here comes Slovakia through the left-hand boards, cross-ice pass, and they'll try and pass it in, and that goes off of a skate, but Slovakia will pick up, shot, and that is blocked again. Imagine the score if half these shots went through that were blocked. As here comes the U.S. through the neutral zone. Shot by U.S. off the crossbar. Hagens rang the post there. Yeah, Hagens just rings it off the crossbar. Close call for the United States there, but still 2-0 here for the Slovakians. There was a missed tripping call in that play too by the Americans before that breakout. Just helped cause that breakout there. So there's a face off to the right of Pradel, and Slovakia wins it. They'll send it around the other boards and knock it there. US will hold it in, pass it behind the net. There's some board play behind the net, back out to the point. They'll send it back down to the right-hand boards. Cross ice pass to the point, to the D-to-D pass shot, and that is blocked by the Slovakians, and they'll play it to center ice here. US has it behind their net and gives it up. Here's the Slovakians in the US zone, and US will take the puck from them, and here they come through the neutral zone. And a shot by McKinney and saved by Pradel. Some physical stuff happening here. I don't think the US wants to play that type of game right now. So I'm jamming out to the music in the stadium. They got some really good music. As there'll be a face-off to the left of Pradel here. Cole McKinley with the shot there. And Slovakia wins the face-off. They'll go around the net, up the right-hand boards, and a pass misses. As the US will exit their zone through the neutral zone, a pass can't be made. Here comes Slovakia, 2-on-2 into the US zone. Pressured there along the right-hand boards, and US will send it around to the left-hand boards. They'll break out through the neutral zone here. It's 3-on-3. Mooney passes back to the right-hand board, shot, and saved by Pradel. So solid goaltending by Pradel right now. 2-0 Slovakia here in the first period over the United States. Sorry if you hear the wife yelling at the kids. There we go. Face off to the left of Pradel here. And Slovakia wins it, and they'll dump it into the neutral zone where the US will pick it up back in their own end through the neutral zone with a pass, and they'll dump it in behind Pradel's net. Slovakia's first to get there. They'll send it around the right-hand boards. Here comes Slovakia. Pass that misses there, and US will retreat. D-to-D pass and break through the neutral zone. Here's the United States. Zellers tried to play it in front, but Slovakia blocked that. Here comes the United States shot and misses the net there. A lot of missed shots by both teams this game so far. As here comes the US into the Slovakian end, but Slovakia takes the puck and they'll break out into the neutral zone, stopped by the US. US has it along the right-hand boards. Good pinch there by the Slovakian defender. And US will dump it back in and be the first ones on the puck, but Slovakia gets it back and comes through the neutral zone. Here comes Slovakia, dump and chase. And they're behind the US net. Slovakia back up to the point, or trying to get it to the point, but US stopped that. Some board play happening back into the US behind the net there. The US will try to send it out again, and that's kept in by the Slovakian. US will try the other side, and US has it behind the net, but a lot of pressure by the Slovakians right now, which is great to see as Slovakia has it in their own end. Here's Slovakia trying to break out, and that hit a skate as US will dump it back in with 1:19 to go here in the first period. Slovakia is up 2-0 on the United States. US has a lot of puck control, but Slovakia has been getting the puck on net a lot more. As here's the US in and turns it over. As here comes Slovakia into the US end, and that is poked off the stick and dumped back in by Slovakia. Here comes the US, and that pass misses. Slovakia into the neutral zone, tries a pass, and that goes off a skate. This is a lot of bouncing pucks right now for both teams. 33 seconds left here in the first period. 2-0 in Slovakia. Outshooting the US 8-2. And a backhand try by US, and that misses the net. And there's something going on here. Hand pass, halting play. So 2-0 Slovakia here in the first period. About 18 seconds left to go. Riker Lee, 26 overall pick by Nashville in last year's draft. And there's a face-off, helmets off the Slovakian player, so he has to go to the bench. As the dumped in by the United States behind the net for Slovakia. 5 seconds left. They'll just dump it out, and that's the end of the first period. Slovakia. Oh, there's 0.2 seconds left. Pick getting into some stuff there. But 2-0 Slovakia over the United States. And there's 0.2 seconds left here. Pika with a huge hit there. And that's the end of the first period here. What a period by Slovakia. 2-0, outshooting the United States. And the U.S. was stunned after that first goal. Took a undisciplined penalty, and Slovakia capitalizes on the power play to make it 2-0. But as you can see, it's getting dark out. It's supper time here. Got to go feed the kids. So that's it for me. Thank you, Rusky, there for hanging out in the chat, talking. Yeah, 2-0 Slovakia over US. Of course, Czechia winning in overtime versus the Finnish today, 2-1, and Germany losing to Sweden 8-1 in the Group A stage there. Of course, later tonight, Canada, Denmark. Huge game there for the Canadians as they have to win to leapfrog in the first place over Finland after Finland's loss to the Czechia. But that's it for me today. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.